Good afternoon, Guyana. Good afternoon, Guyana. You are listening to the Wake Up Guyana show and on Kaieteur Radio FM 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo and 99.5 in Berbice. Today is January the 25th. It's now 14:04, and I am your host, Tony from Mahaicony on the Wake Up Guyana show. And let's go straight to the news. Front page today, Kaieteur News, Monday edition, January 25th. It reads, government to receive 2020 Lisa 1 operating costs from Exxon. Has 2 years to audit. Next headline news, EPA demands no studies for 5 projects dealing with hazardous oil and gas chemicals. Agency lacks capacity to do testing. Another news here is Guyana urgently needs oil and gas monitoring unit, according to Dr. Adams. So these are some of the headlines for Kaieteur News on Monday, January 25th, and going back to yesterday, Kaieteur News Sunday, January 24th, and here are some of the headlines. Liberia mandates all oil companies to contribute to renewable energy program. But Guyana demanded nothing. Next headline news, Ghana was able to take control of spending on oil field developments. Energy strategists. Guyana should do the same. Next headline news, again, yesterday, Sunday edition, January 24th. EPA makes no commitment to correct outdated insurance provision in Lisa 1 permit. Those are some of the headline news from yesterday and today. And yesterday, we have an article dealing with the issue with Mr. Patterson, the former Minister Patterson, and there's a lot of talk, a lot of discussion regarding Mr. Patterson. And here is one article by G.H.K. Lal, and he writes, and I quote, "There is no choice this week but to begin with the terribly disturbing. It involves gifts now amounting to millions of dollars of public money, given first to the former Minister David Patterson, and now his colleague, former Minister Annette Ferguson." He writes, he continues, "I am so disgusted by what occurred, how developments unfolded, and where things stand currently, that I shared some of this earlier." We will stop there. So my question today for discussion, is, should Mr. Patterson resign? A number of people have been calling for his resignation. And my question to you is should Mr. Patterson resign? That's one topic for discussion. And if you have anything else on your mind that you want to discuss, please feel free to call. That number to call is 592-226-7453. 226-7453. And the number to message us on WhatsApp and SMS is 592-622-2222. Again, that number for WhatsApp and SMS Messenger, 592-622-2222. So I want to get your calls today. I want to hear from you, Guyana, and let's discuss this topic. Should Mr. Patterson resign? You are listening to the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio on FM 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo and 99.5 in Berbice. We want to send out a special thank you for those who are listening in the diaspora, the ABCE, America, Britain, and Canada, and Europe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for those who are listening across the length and breadth of this great nation. Thank you for those who are listening on the different mediums, My Tuner app, Radio Garden app, Go Loud app. Those who are listening on Kaieteur News Online Radio. Those are listening on Facebook and YouTube. And all of those who are listening on different mediums, we thank you for listening, and we want to hear your call. We want to get your phone call. So again, that number to reach us is 226-7453, 226-7453, or 622-2222 WhatsApp SMS messages. And please remember when you call to turn your radio off, and can you please call and ask your question specifically and simply and directly so we can get as many calls as possible. This show gets a lot of phone calls, and we want to give everyone the opportunity to call in. So please be brief, to the point when you call with your comments or questions. And so, again, the question for discussion, should Minister Patterson resign? Should Minister Patterson resign? I want to hear if you're for it or if you're against it. With that said, a few days ago, we heard a great poem by Amanda Gorman, who gave a poem there at the President Biden inauguration. And the young 22-year-old did a wonderful job, and I read that to you on Thursday. And so today, if you have not heard, I would like to read to you the President of the United States, Joe Biden, his inauguration speech. So if you will bear with me, it's a little long. It's probably going to take about 20 minutes or so, but please bear with me. So here we go. The President, Chief Justice Roberts, Vice President Harris, Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumann, Leader McConnell, Vice President Pence, distinguished guests, and my fellow Americans. This is America's day. This is Democracy Day. A day of history and hope, of renewal and resolved. Through a crucible for the ages, America has been tested anew, and America has risen to the challenge. Today, we celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause. The cause of democracy. The will of the people has been heard, and the will of the people has been heeded. We have learned again that democracy is precious. Democracy is fragile. And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed. So now, on this hallowed ground, where just days ago violence sought to shake this capital's very foundation, we come together as one nation under God in the visible to carry out the peaceful transfer of power as we have for more than 2 centuries. We look ahead in our uniquely American way, restless, bold, optimistic, and set our sights on the nation we know we can be and we must be. I thank my predecessors of both parties for their presence here. I thank them from the bottom of my heart. You know, the resilience of our Constitution and the strength of our nation, as does President Carter, who I spoke to last night, but who cannot be with us today, but whom we salute for his lifetime of service. I have just taken the sacred oath each of these patriots took, an oath first sworn by George Washington. But the American story depends not on any one of us, not on some of us, but on all of us. Or on we the people. We seek a more perfect union. This is a great nation, and we are a good people. Over the centuries, through storms and strife, in peace and in war, we have come so far. But we still have far to go. We will press forward with speed and urgency, for we have much to do in this winter of peril and possibility. Much to repair, much to restore, much to heal, much to build, and much to gain. Few periods in our nation's history have been more challenging or difficult than the one we are in now. A once-in-a-century virus silently stalks the country. It takes as many lives in 1 year as America lost in all of World War II. Millions of jobs have been lost. Hundreds of thousands of businesses closed. A cry for racial justice, some 400 years in the making, moves us. The dream of justice for all will be deferred no longer. A cry for survival comes from the planet itself. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. And now, a rise in political extremism, white supremacy, domestic terrorism, that we must confront and we will defeat. To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and to secure the future of America requires more than words. It requires that most elusive of things in a democracy: unity. Unity. In another January in Washington, on New Year's Day, 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. When he put pen to paper, the president said, "If my name ever goes down into history, it will be for this act, and my whole soul is in it." My whole soul is in it. Today, on this January day, my whole soul is in this. Bringing America together, uniting our people, and uniting our nation. I ask every American to join me in this cause, united to fight the common foes we face: anger, resentment, hatred, extremism, lawlessness, violence, disease, joblessness, hopelessness. With unity, we can do great things, important things. We can right wrongs. We can put people to work in good jobs. We can teach our children in safe schools. We can overcome this deadly virus. We can reward work, rebuild the middle class, and make healthcare secure for all. We can deliver racial justice. We can make America once again the leading force for good in the world. I know speaking of unity can sound to some like a foolish fantasy. I know the forces that divide us are deep and they are real. But I also know they are not new. Our history has been a constant struggle between the America ideal that we are all created equal and the harsh, ugly reality that racism, nativism, fear, and demonization have long torn us apart. The battle is perennial. Victory never assured. Through the Civil War, the Great Depression, World War, 9/11, through struggle, sacrifice, and setbacks, our better angels have always prevailed. In each of these moments, enough of us came together to carry all of us forward. And we do so now. History, faith, and reason show the way of unity. We can see each other not as adversaries, but as neighbors. We can treat each other with dignity and respect. We can join forces, stop the shouting, and lower the temperature. For without unity, there is no peace, only bitterness and fury. No progress, only exhausting courage. No nation, only a state of chaos. This is our historic moment of crisis and challenge. and unity is the path forward. And we must meet the moment as the United States of America. If we do that, I guarantee you we will not fail. We have never, ever, ever failed in America when we have acted together. And so today, at this time, and in this place, let us start afresh. All of us. Let us listen to one another. Let us hear one another. See one another. Show respect for one another. Politics need not be a raging fire destroying everything in its path. Every disagreement doesn't have to be a cause for total war. And we must reject a culture in which facts themselves are manipulated and even manufactured. My fellow Americans, we have to be different than this. America has to be better than this. And I believe America is better than this. Just look around. Here we stand in the shadow of a Capitol dome that was completed amid the Civil War, when the Union itself hung in the balance. Yet we endured and we prevailed. Here we stand, looking out to the Great Mall, where Dr. King spoke of his dream. Here we stand, where 108 years ago, at another inaugural, thousands of protesters tried to block the brave women from marching for the right to vote. Today, we mark the swearing in of the first woman in American history elected to national office, Vice President Kamala Harris. Don't tell me things can't change. Here we stand across the Potomac from Arlington National Cemetery, where heroes who gave the last full measure of devotion rest in eternal peace. And here we stand just days after a riotous mob, though they could use violence to silence the will of the people, to stop the work of our democracy, and to drive us from this sacred ground. That did not happen. It will never happen. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. To all those who supported our campaign, I am humbled by the faith you have placed in us. To all those who did not support us, let me say this. Hear me out as we move forward. Take a measure of me and my heart. And if you still disagree, so be it. That is democracy. That is America. The right to dissent peacefully within the guardrails of our republic is perhaps our nation's greatest strength. Yet, hear me clearly. Disagreement must not lead to disunion. And I pledge this to you. I will be president for all Americans. I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did. Many centuries ago, St. Augustine, a saint of my church, wrote that a people was a multitude defined by the common objects of their love. What are the common objects we love that define us as Americans? I think I know. Opportunity, security, liberty, dignity, respect, honor, and yes, the truth. Recent weeks and months have taught us a painful lesson. There is truth and there are lies. Lies told for power and for profit. And each of us has a duty and responsibility as citizens, as Americans, and especially as leaders. Leaders who have pledged to honor our Constitution and to protect our nation, to defend the truth and to defeat the lies. I understand that many Americans view the future with some fear and trepidation. I understand they worry about their jobs, about taking care of their families, about what comes next. I get it. But the answer is not to turn inward, to retreat into competing factions, distrusting those who don't look like you do, or worship the way you do, or don't get their news from the same sources you do. We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue, rural versus urban, and conservative versus liberal. We can do this if we open our souls instead of hardening our hearts. If we show a little tolerance and humility, if we are willing to stand in the other person's shoes just for a moment. Because here is the thing about life. There is no accounting for what fate will deal you. There are some days when we need a hand. There are other days when we are called on to lend one. That is how we must be with one another. And if we are this way, our country will be stronger, more prosperous, more ready for the future. My fellow Americans, in the work ahead of us, we will need each other. We will need all our strength to persevere through this dark winter. We are entering what may well be the toughest and deadliest period of the virus. We must set aside the politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation. I promise you this, as the Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. We will get through this together. The world is watching today. So here is my message to those beyond our borders. America has been tested, and we have come out stronger for it. We will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again, not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow. We will lead not merely by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. We will be a strong and trusted partner for peace, progress, and security. We have been through so much in this nation, and in my first act as president, I would like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer to remember all those who lost their life this past year to the pandemic. To those 400,000 fellow Americans, mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. We will honor them by becoming the people and nation we know we can and should be. Let us say a silent prayer for them, and we will stop the reading of this message here and give you the phone number to call to hear your questions and comments regarding this particular speech or the topic for the day. Should Mr. Patterson resign? If you're just joining us, our topic for today is should Mr. Patterson resign? And I just finished reading President Biden's inauguration speech. So the number to reach us here on the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio FM 99.1 in Demerara and Essequibo and 99.5 in Berbice. The number to reach us is 226-7453. 226-7453. Or WhatsApp, SMS messages, 622-2222. Again, 622-2222. Want to hear from you? Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. I needed it.
Kaieteur General Insurance, a better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Kaieteur General Insurance Company, Inc., located at 121 Regenton Ornock Streets. You can contact us on telephone numbers 225-1787 or you can try 269-0020.
Good afternoon, caller. Go ahead with your question, please. Please remember to turn your radio off, caller, and you can call back. Turn your radio off.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm an architect. Mr. Patterson is an engineer. My suggestion and my point and my stay on it is that he shouldn't resign. He's a technical person. And I feel that I am an architect, and I said just now, when I do my job, good, I get a token of appreciation, so I don't see that as any issue. Okay?
Sorry, so may I ask those people who are saying that he already is receiving a salary, and why does he need to get an additional gift? Do we give other people, such as teachers, gifts?
Oh, well, what I'm saying is that let us be respectful to one another.
Yes.
If I get a gift for my work because of my quality of work,
yes,
I accept it without any pride or any, this for quality of work, okay?
Okay.
And I would accept it. I don't see any issue in that.
So let me ask you this. So you think he should not resign?
No, he shouldn't resign. He
Okay,
should stand up for righteousness.
So those people that would say to you,
Yeah.
you said you would accept a gift from your employer.
Yeah.
So those that would put it to you, does that gift from your employer, does it have a limit?
No, because it's a token of appreciation and for the good work, the
Yes.
quality of work.
Okay, so if they give you a Rolls Royce, is that not too much of a gift?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
don't think
so there's no limit.
There's
on
no
yours.
limit.
Okay.
Exactly. Remember, the bottom line is that being a technical person.
Yes, I got you.
You know, I mean, it's not no walkover. It's not
Okay.
no easy thing. You got to study a lot. You got to. It's a technicality that has to come in it. You
Yes. What about as a public servant? Public servant, not private, but public, right?
know? Okay.
So, aren't you called as a public servant?
No, I say my interpretation is
Yes.
that being a technical person as a public servant, I used to be a public servant.
Okay.
And because of, as a token of appreciation, okay? If I am given a gift, I don't see that as being a problem, as a token of appreciation, okay?
Yes.
It depends upon the circumstance, how it was done, you know what I mean?
Okay.
We have to go through that, we have to check it out and see.
Okay.
The procedure involved, you know what I mean? The criteria.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Respect and manners, sir.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
bye-bye. We got plenty of calls coming in. The topic for today is, should Mr. Patterson resign? Should Mr. Patterson resign? I want to hear your comments and your calls. I have one so far who thinks that Mr. Patterson should not resign and he deserved to have a token. Caller, go ahead with your question, please. Caller, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm calling from Bobby.
Go ahead.
I have a issue. I receive a gift from the States, right?
Yes.
To MoneyGram, right?
Okay.
And when I go to uplift the money, they told me that they cannot entertain the transaction, that the sender has to withdraw the money from MoneyGram and send it to Western Union also.
Okay.
I want to know, and when I asked them what is the reason for doing that, they say they cannot give me any details in that. They just told me that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can shed any light on that. I want to know what is going on.
Unfortunately, sir, I don't know much about that particular issue. I'm hoping some callers who may be listening can call and can give me some answers for that. Just continue to listen, and if a caller listening, can you please call if you had issue with MoneyGrams and what the caller just described. And thank you for calling, sir. I apologize. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, when the sender send the money,
Yes.
they should have, tell them something that, when the money come to Guyana, I cannot uplift it. You understand?
Yes.
Something is definitely wrong.
Yes, sir. And I thank you for calling. I appreciate you calling. Keep listening.
All
Okay?
right.
We want to thank those who are listening in the diaspora. Those are the ABCE. Those who are listening in the length and breadth of this country. Those on Facebook. Those on YouTube. And those who send in messages. Thank you for all your messages that you sent in. The question today is, should Mr. Patterson resign? And is a gift too big? Is a gift too big? The previous caller said there's no limit to a gift. It could be any amount, even up to a Rolls Royce, as long as you deserve it. You're listening again to the Wake Up Guyana show, and again on Kaieteur Radio, FM 99.1 radio, 99.5. My name is Tony from Mahaicony, And I just one of my mentors reminded me to not to mention my name very often, so I do it only 3 times. So I did it in the beginning, the middle, and then one last time at the end. What do you think about this speech from Mr. Biden? Any questions, comment? I love it. I thought it was a very, very unifying speech. It's very appropriate, not just for America, but you can say it's appropriate for all countries right now. As he calls for unity, he says that without unity, America will fail. And he said, with unity, America will prevail. Okay? Someone wants to know, where does Mr. Patterson works? He was the public work minister under the previous government. And unfortunately, I don't know where he currently works. If someone knows where he currently works, they can call me and let me know. So we're looking again at lots of people are calling for Mr. Patterson to resign because of this gift that he collected. But Mr. Patterson is not budging one bit. So it looks like it's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. Doesn't look like he's planning to step down, but we don't know what tomorrow brings, so we will see. But lots and lots of people are wanting Mr. Patterson to resign. Okay, so going back to the front page news, continuing some of the front page lessons, it says on Sunday, 24th of January, front page Kaieteur News says, Soku question Patterson Adams on Harbor Bridge feasibility contract award. So Mr. Patterson looks like he's making this front page a Kaieteur News pretty often. So we had one separate issue with him receiving these gifts while he was minister, and yesterday papers, we see that he's being questioned regarding the Harbor Bridge feasibility contract award. So Mr. Patterson looks like he's in the hot seat, and he's going through some difficult, challenging times. So again, what should Mr. Patterson do? Should he do the honorable thing and resign, or should he continue as business as usual? You know, I would say that if I was a betting man, and I don't bet, I don't gamble, but if I was a betting man, I would bet all my money. I bet all my money that Mr. Patterson is not going to resign. I don't see him resigning because I don't see people resigning very often. Caller, go ahead with your call, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Resign in jail.
Yes, go ahead.
To resign in jail.
Oh, send him to. I didn't hear you.
Huh?
I didn't hear you. Say again.
Resign in jail. Go to the jail. Resign in jail.
Okay. You're not coming through very clearly, caller. I apologize.
Okay.
Okay.
I think resign in jail. You hear me now?
I just hear you said, I hear you now, but nothing before that.
Resign in jail.
Okay, your radio's turned off?
Turned off, yeah. So you resign in jail too?
Okay. All right. Thank you, caller. I can't get it clear. Get a bad connection there. I apologize for that. Call back the next time, okay? All right, good. Go ahead. As we continue looking at this issue, we're getting a lot of comments online. Most people are saying that, Mr. Tony, everyone is entitled to a gift, yes, but someone want to give someone a gift, it has to be with their personal cash to purchase that gift. So this person is saying you can give anybody a gift, but don't use taxpayer money. Do not use the taxpayer money. use your own money. And I think that's a wonderful suggestion because I don't know how many people will be forking out a lot of money when it coming out of their pocket than when it coming from the taxpayer. You know, we have a tendency that when we use other people's money, we tend to be more liberal and exuberant. But when we use our own money, we tend to be more frugal and more cheap, more tight hands. So this Facebook message is saying, if you're going to call, go ahead with your call, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tony.
Yes, good afternoon.
Mr. Tony, I mean, the first caller said that you could get gift here.
Okay.
But the point is that who gave him the gift? The entity that he works is the government entity.
Okay.
And if somebody from that entity give him that gift, that person is supposed to be in the hot water or the hot seat.
Okay.
Because it's the government, it's the people money. And nobody is supposed to take the people money and hand it over to somebody else as a gift.
Okay.
I think he deserves a prison term.
Okay.
But those things don't happen with these ministers, them, and the president. It only happens with the small people like me and you.
Yes. So
those guys, he deserves a trial.
Yes.
And if he found guilty, put him in prison. He's supposed to serve at least about 7 years.
So are you saying that definitely you want him to resign?
Yeah, he's supposed to resign, but he wouldn't do it. They are bullies.
But you take it a step further. You don't just want him to resign. You want him to go to prison.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Is that correct? And he can get gift from somebody, give him gift of somebody else's money. The person who give him that gift got to gather money from himself.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling, sir. We got plenty of calls coming in.
Yeah.
Keep listening and keep calling, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too,
So
Mr.
somebody on Facebook is also saying that that he should step down from the PAC, okay? So we got several people are asking for Mr. Patterson to resign. It looks like the majority is saying that he should resign. And we only have so far 1 or 2 people who thinks he should stay and he did nothing wrong. So you're listening to the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio, FM 99.1, Demerara and Essequibo, and 99.5 in Berbice. Today is January 25th. The time is 14:57, and I will be out of here in about 3 minutes. So here's my closing remarks to you. Thank you for all those who are calling. Please remember to WhatsApp and message me and help me so I can become better at what I'm doing. I want to become great. I want to become good. I want to become excellent at this being on the radio. So please give me your feedback. And as you can see, I take your feedback and I implement it. I don't just ask for feedback, and when I don't like it, I don't implement it. Okay, so I want to hear from you. Help me. Please remember Mr. Gildari, as he's on medical leave, that everything is going well with him. Remember him in your thoughts and prayers, and pray that he will return soon. And so last thing before I go, I want to tell you that this speech from Joe Biden, if you have a chance, I want you to read it. I want you to listen to it because it's a call for unity, a call for victory, a call that the only way we can make it through this difficult time is by uniting our nation, uniting our people, uniting Guyana, bringing Guyana together. This is our desire. This is my dream. Martin Luther King had a dream that he dreamed that one day his children, his black children can walk hand in hand with white children, and they can be one. My dream for Guyana is we will have unity, unity, unity. That is my dream. And as I go, I remind you that you are listening to the Wake Up Guyana show with Tony from Mahaicony, and want you to know that we gonna get through this. We're gonna get through these dark days, these dark winters, these difficult times, these tumultuous times. We will make it if we unite together as a people. If we have hope, if we have faith, if we have courage, if we have love, we will get through these tumultuous times. I am your host, Tony from Mahaicony, signing off on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, Demerara and Essequibo, and 99.5 in Berbice. You are listening to the Wake Up Guyana show. I'll be here for the rest of the week, Monday through Friday, from 2 to 3 or 1400 to 1500. May God bless you, and may God give you the desires of your heart for the new year. Tony from Mahaicony saying goodbye and God bless you. Have a wonderful day.